Warning, this video is going to be addressing transgender people. If you are a baby, you will get triggered. If you are a transphobe, you will also get triggered, but I will feel much less bad about you. Also, this video is going to be a bit more of an opinion piece this time, but I do plan on talking about arguing civil protections for minorities in general, which will include trans people at a much later date. Welcome to Toaster Chat, where I do more opinion pieces regarding media. So I didn't really keep up too much with E3 this year, mostly because nothing really seemed too interesting to me outside of Dying Light 2 because of the writer from Fallout New Vegas working on it, and
insert Nintendo title here.
I guess I really should have been, because oh boy, did CD Projekt Red come in hot for this E3 with Cyberpunk 2077. Honestly, stealing the show the first day of the event with special guest John Wick from Fortnite. And all was good until... So, we're gonna discuss the trans model ad. I did discuss this a little bit on Twitter, but I would like to get the thoughts I have on this down in video form and perhaps elaborate a little more on those thoughts. The main idea I wish to indulge here is whether or not this ad is inherently transphobic. Spoilers, it honestly is, but the circumstances in the game itself could change that, so it's too soon to make a call. Let's get started. So the ad itself is for an energy drink or soda called Crow Manticore. It features the statements, "Mix it up," and 16 flavors you'd love to mix. And of course prominently features an honestly very attractive female model with a large erection popping right through that leotard right there. So with that said, let's go over the possibilities here. Possibility number 1. It's transphobic as fuck, and the game will do nothing to actually address that, and CD Projekt Red are probably just bigots who hate us. For those uninformed, this is not CD Projekt Red's first time in the ring, so to speak. They also had controversy regarding a hilarious "did you just assume their gender" joke on Twitter as well. They were also involved in some controversy regarding the trans rights movement's "won't be erased" hashtag. For this possibility, I would also like to call to attention a quote by the game dev interviewed after the ad controversy broke out. The words "bodies in between" can be interpreted in many different ways. It could be interpreted as being in support of the bimodal sex model. It could be interpreted as being in support of trans women or men who are just starting their transition and have not had much change in their physical characteristics yet. It could also be a way to say that trans people are this weird, bizarre middle ground, which the in-game ad clearly supports. Look at the wording. Mix it up. Crow Manticore. Manticores being mythical creatures that are a hodgepodge mix of different animal species meant to look bizarre and foreign. And obviously, based on the response from Twitter, girl dick must be risque. Even though it really isn't, it's just that the social climate people are raised in makes them as such, as with anything else people find sexual. Possibility 2. It's transphobic as fuck, but the game will address it critically, perhaps in a quest or in a line of dialogue about how hyper-late-stage capitalism negatively affects how we view that which is risque, and also turns any body type into a commodity that can be sold to ravenous, horny customers with money. And CD Projekt Red, well, they've done problematic things in the past, but have learned from their mistakes and actually want to craft a great story for all to enjoy as they see fit. Guys, if you want my honest opinion on the ad, yes, it is transphobic. The ad itself is transphobic. But I would like to believe the possibility of them actually looking at it through a critical lens more so than the first possibility based on the other comments made by the same dev from before. We need to realize that the politics of Cyberpunk 2077 are in a way anarcho-capitalistic, as all that remains to police the world are megacorporations, as the state has for the most part faded away. Megacorps would definitely take advantage of that which seems risque to push products onto the dystopian consumer. It is quite possible that the game will be critical of this and do something like having the model herself show up in a quest or something to talk about how horribly she's maybe been treated, or how she doesn't necessarily like her line of work but has to make money in a society that requires it for safety. And then, I don't know, you could maybe have the main character go beat up some megacorp assholes or something for revenge, or go save her puppy. It honestly doesn't matter. Possibility 3. The XD trolled possibility. Let's throw everything that game dev said out the window and it's just all bait. The drink just gives you a giant cock. Who knows, maybe transition medicine in the future is so advanced you can drink a soda and change sex characteristics at will. In which case, why are we not funding this? This is still fucked up in a couple of ways, of course, but it isn't necessarily transphobic. Possibility 4. The Nothing Burger. I think this is probably the most likely possibility, and it's really unfortunate as critical analysis of the ad in-game would actually go a long way towards representation for the trans community, and perhaps educate the hashtag gamers to be more respectful of how they view trans women. But I won't complain, as this is kind of the status quo for the gaming industry today. Essentially, this possibility boils down to CD Projekt Red apologized for their mistakes, and they're not inherently transphobic. The ad is still transphobic, but the game just won't really do much to address it, or will just not really address it that well. Either way, people will enjoy the game, and the issue will probably be dropped. Some of the transgender community might boycott the game, but otherwise things settle down. Whatever you think will happen, I would like to say that we should try not to be insensitive to those who are upset about this, unless they're bigots. I really don't care what happens to bigots. I'm sorry. The trans community has gone through a lot of shit, especially recently with some of our fearless leaders' policy and potential policy. I understand that some people who find this video will probably not believe in the validity of transgender people, and trust me, I do plan on addressing you. This video is mostly just to lay out the potential possibilities for this controversy and to maybe help calm some people down, at least until the game itself is released. Now personally, I will not cancel this game over this. I still would like to live out my fantasies of becoming a godlike cyborg who runs around fighting megacorporations for the freedom of my fellow enhanced humans. This is just one ad in a game. I want to see a lot more before I consider canceling this game. One of my favorite games of all time is Fallout New Vegas, and perhaps I'll make a video on that game sometime in the future, as I do quite enjoy it. One of the factions in the game is literally a totalitarian state that runs around LARPing as the Roman Empire and enslaves women. The game, however, gives you plenty of criticism of their system, and even the system of the NCR, which is most like that of America today. Just because a game includes an element that is problematic does not color the whole game as being in support of that element. Thank you for watching the first ever Toaster Chat. I would like to give a special shout out to my lovely lady friend Jamie, who does Borderlands and Osu streams mostly, and who knows, some of the time she's doing Borderlands, you might even catch me on her stream. Anyway, with that, I bid you all farewell.